welcome to Sibos 2018 in Sydney. I'm Hannah Wallace, and with me now is Kris Kubiena from Vocalink MasterCard, and we're going to be talking about real-time payments infrastructure. Hello Kris, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today.
It's a pleasure. Good morning, Hannah.
Now we're seeing a lot more countries opt for managed services when it comes to implementing real-time payments infrastructure. So can you tell me, what are the benefits of this?
I think real-time payments are now a global phenomenon, and people have understood the benefits and they've understood the reasons why they need to implement them. However, at the same time, it's also become very clear that doing this kind of project to yourself is high risk and tends to take a long time. And people have recognized that actually if they can buy a managed service and be onboarded to an existing service, the implementation risk, the time risk are all significantly reduced. And not only that, partnering with someone who can provide all the value add services or the overlay services that actually are critical in terms of making a success of a real-time payments implementation is also one of the benefits. So it's almost a one-stop shop, low risk implementation, shortest time to go live.
All right, and further to the benefits of having real-time payments, what value can be created on top of the platform for economies?
There is a danger that people get hung up on P2P and consumer payments when thinking about real-time payments. And actually you have to look at the whole ecosystem of transactions. You have to satisfy all the stakeholders that are involved. So we're looking at consumers, of course, they're vital, but you're also looking at corporates, businesses, and the regulator. And sometimes their objectives and agendas are not entirely aligned. So you have to consider, how do I serve the consumer, but at the same time give the participants of the service an ability to generate new revenues. So it needs to be a complex set of payment flows that get implemented as part of a real-time payment service. So not just your standard credit transfer, but also your request to pay. And increasingly we're seeing countries looking at some of the non-financial messages, particularly in the US. They're looking at request to pay, but are also messaging around requests for information, requests for refund. They're automating all the manual elements of the service. So not only are they generating new revenues, but they're decreasing costs. So there's a cost reduction benefit as well as a new revenue benefit.
Okay, and which countries do you feel are leveraging capabilities to the fullest?
Well, one of the countries that I seem to be talking about most recently is Thailand. They've implemented the prompt pay service, underpinned by our technology, of course, but they've done it in a way that's really had an economic impact across the whole spectrum of stakeholders. So we're hearing anecdotally about significant reductions in cash in the economy, achieved within 12 months. They have more than 50 million consumers signed up for the service, and again, that was achieved within a 12-month period. So P2P transactions have now become a very common occurrence, but what we're seeing is that the banks, the participants in the service, are also generating new products, new services around corporate billing, requests for payment, and that goes from the SME level, up to the big corporate billers, the telecoms companies and so on. So it's become a whole system that's available, accessible and ubiquitous within the country. So it actually reconciles the need to generate new revenues for participants, as well as meeting the requirements of the regulator in terms of reducing cash and promoting financial inclusion. So from the perspective of launching a service, we think it's a good example of how to do it and have a real impact.
Wonderful. Kris, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching.